Hey guys, what's going on? And I'm here, Rick, with my favorite movies of 2019 list. This year it is a top 15 with a few honorable mentions. I'm going to dive right in. With honorable mentions, 3 of them I own on physical media. 1 of them I do not yet own on physical media. It will be here next week. Spoiler alert for a future video. The first movie is Alita: Battle Angel. I really enjoyed this movie. Martinez Joe, if you guys don't watch his channel, check out Martinez Joe 74. Him and his girlfriend Marie do great videos. He has an amazing collection. Joe was hyped about this movie. It's his favorite movie of 2019. I wasn't really looking forward to watching it, but I was going to get it from Pam's because she was getting it at Video Game Movie Dome. And Joe actually hooked me up. He grabbed this for me and he said, check it out. I think you'll like it. And I did. I enjoyed it. Bridget and I both watched it. We both liked it. I think RJ might have even watched this too. We all enjoyed it. It was a fun time. I'll tell you that I hope there's a sequel. I will definitely go to the movies and watch the sequel. I feel like my screen is blurry. Let's see here. Is that better? I hope that's better. So yeah, Alita Battle Angel was a blast. I enjoyed it. It's an honorable mention, but definitely worth checking out. The next thing, it seems like some people like it and some people don't. I liked it a lot. It was Stuber with Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista. I thought it was a very entertaining R-rated buddy cop action movie. I thought it was very well done. I enjoyed it a lot and definitely worth checking out. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't want to say too much about it, but it is a fun time. They have great chemistry as a buddy cop duo. This is probably one of my most pleasant surprises of the year. Another honorable mention that I wanted to see in movies and it didn't play anywhere near me. The Art of Self-Defense with Jesse Eisenberg. This is a very weird movie. It's very different kind of humor, a dark movie for sure, a dark comedy. I enjoyed this movie so much. It was so entertaining, so smart. I was laughing out loud at numerous parts of the movie. A lot of people will not like this film. I guarantee it. It is a very different type of movie. Definitely not for everyone, but I really enjoyed this. I'm glad I grabbed it on Blu-ray. Will definitely be one I'm rewatching in the future. And then the last honorable mention is The Farewell, starring Awkwafina. It was good. Basically a PG movie that's not animated, which hardly ever happens anymore, especially if it's not like a kid's movie, like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid type movie. Basically about a family who, in their culture, they do not tell people when they're sick, when they're dying. And Awkwafina's grandmother is very sick. She's going to pass away. So her family goes and basically stages a wedding. It forces one of her cousins, I believe it is, to get married. And Awkwafina insists on going, but she doesn't understand why they don't tell her grandmother that she's sick. And it's a funny movie, but it's a sad movie, but it's a heartwarming movie. There's lots of subtitles in it, but, you know, as you'll see in my list, there's a movie that is totally subtitled. There's also English speaking in the movie, but I enjoyed it a lot. The Farewell is definitely a movie worth checking out. If you guys haven't, definitely look into it. And now I'm going into the top 15. I was going to do a top 10, but I had to do 15 this year. There was too many good movies I wanted to talk about. Number 15 is Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. What a pleasant surprise. I feel like movies like this can either be really good or really bad, and this was a really good one. Laughing out loud, multiple parts. I still need to rewatch it. Went and saw this an early screening, I believe, or opening night, and I really remembered enjoying it. I was laughing. I thought the chemistry between them was a little unbelievable, but by the end, I believed it. And Long Shot is definitely a good movie. Apparently it's certified fresh, guys, so that means it's phenomenal. But yeah, I really liked Long Shot. I thought it was well done. I thought it was very funny. And Seth Rogen and Charlize were very great together on screen. At number 14, John Wick 3 Parabellum. I love the John Wick movies. The first one's my favorite. I think this is my second favorite, and number 2 is my third favorite, but I like them all a lot. It's not like one is super high and the other 2 are down here. I think they're all on a very similar level, and John Wick 3 was no different. The horse scene is phenomenal. The weapons store scene is great. It's a beautiful movie. The purples, the blues, it looks awesome on 4K. John Wick 3 was great. I can't wait till John Wick 4. It's coming next year, I believe. So John Wick Chapter 3. Keanu Reeves continues to be a huge star. Will Bill and Ted Face the Music be good? Let's hope so. I'm a little leery. Number 13, I do not have physically because it's a movie still playing in theaters, and it is 1917. So this movie's winning a lot of awards. It's winning Best Director. It's winning Best Pictures. I liked it. I don't think it's anything. The way it is shot is great. Basically, the movie is made to look like one continuous shot. There's some cheats. It's obviously not shot 2 hours, the whole movie all at once. There's some ways that the director got around it. But the movie was very good. It was a war story, but not necessarily focusing on what war movies normally focus on. This was about 2 guys who needed to deliver a message, and they went through enemy territory and, had to do everything basically to save thousands of lives. And it's the story basically following the 2 of them getting to point B. It's a point A to point B story. And it doesn't show a ton of hand-to-hand combat. I'm not going to get into that, but it's not your typical war movie in that respect. And that I appreciate, but I think the average film goer will find it boring. I know my girlfriend was not a fan of the movie. I liked it. I didn't think it was great. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Obviously, I have respect for it. I think the movie will look phenomenal on 4K when it comes out. Am I going to go buy it? Probably not right away. Maybe eventually when it gets cheaper. Number 12. Netflix's The Marriage Story, or Marriage Story, starring Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. I was very leery to watch this movie because I just felt like it would be depressing. To go beyond the curtain a little bit, I have gone through a divorce, and it's about a couple who goes through a divorce. They have a child. I went through the same situation, so I wasn't sure how it would affect me, if it would upset me, if it would bring back the memories of going through that. There were definitely parts that were very reminiscent. It's amazing to watch the lawyers and how they treated the divorce versus Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver, the 2 people going through the actual divorce. And you could tell the lawyers were treating it as a business, and Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson started at one level, and they were going to, try to do it without lawyers and get it done. And then it turned into so much more, and it shows you the ups and downs of that. It was very powerful in my opinion. There is a scene that takes place in a living room with just Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver basically talking, which builds up to an argument. That is one of the best acted scenes I've seen in a very long time. It is a very powerful scene. The movie is definitely worth watching, but it is not a happy... Like, some people think it's funny. In parts, yes, there was humor, but the movie overall isn't very funny. And I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it is definitely worth watching. If you guys have Netflix, check it out. It was also announced that it will be coming out via Criterion this year. No specific date announced. So if you don't have Netflix and you're only a physical person, it will be dropping on Criterion this year. The thing I also forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, and I want to do so really fast, is there are a handful of movies I did not get to see in 2019, although I've caught up on a ton of movies in January. I'm actually going to see Little Women today. I haven't seen Ford vs. Ferrari yet. And there's another handful of movies. So it's possible something could jump in this list. If you guys don't, check out my letterbox, follow me on there. I will, as I watch 2019 movies, I will still update my list. But this is as of February the 2nd, Super Bowl Sunday. 1 week out of the Oscars. I'm probably going to drop this this coming Friday along with my Hot Trash of the Year videos before the Oscars, so you guys can watch this. I always give myself an extra month to catch up on stuff that comes out to physical, and I'm glad I did that because there's a lot that, excuse me, if I did this list December 31st, there's so much of this list that was different that, you know, just looking at this, there's 4 movies that wouldn't have been on there, 5 movies that I wouldn't have talked about, and one of which is incredibly high. It's my #1 movie of the year. So we'll get there eventually, but I do want to mention there is stuff I haven't seen that I do want to see. Number 11, Knives Out. What a great movie by Rian Johnson. The all-star cast, Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Don Johnson, oh man, I'm blanking now. Jamie Lee Curtis, Ana de Armas, Lakeith Stanfield, Toni Collette. Like, there's so many people in this movie. It is so funny. It is a whodunit with humor and suspense, and just a fun movie. Definitely a movie. I will be getting it when it comes out physically. I might even have it pre-ordered. So definitely a movie worth checking out for sure. Knives Out, number 11, really enjoyed it. Number 10, and I actually have, let's see, I have 8 of my top 10 movies physically, one of which I have on order, so I'll have 9 of my top 10, and one of which comes out in March, and I'm definitely buying it day one. So I will own my top 10 this year on physical. Number 10, The Peanut Butter Falcon. This is my last 4-star movie on my list. Then I will jump up to 4.5 stars. You guys have heard me talk about this movie before. When I picked it up, I went off on a little tangent about it. This movie, we need more of this. An original story. Shia LaBeouf is fantastic in this. Zach Gottsagen, I messed up. Gottsagen, I believe is how you pronounce it. Their relationship is so well done. It is so powerful. I wish we would see this movie or this kind of movie more. Dakota Johnson's great in it. Basically, Zach wants to become a professional wrestler. He has Down syndrome. Shia LaBeouf he's in trouble. He's not the smartest tool in the shed, but he's street smart and maybe not book smart. And, he's basically a small town outlaw, and they form a friendship. And man, this movie is funny. It is heartwarming. Apparently my neighbor upstairs is singing. Hopefully you guys can't hear that, but this is great. Peanut Butter Falcon, number 10 of the year. Really? Check it out if you guys haven't. I'm sorry about that. I hope it is not too loud, guys. Number 9, SpiderMan Far From Home. Really love this movie. It was a great Marvel movie. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. I saw it twice in the movie theater. I've seen it, I believe I watched it at home since then as well. Thought it was really well done. I love the new Spider-Man. Tom Holland is great as Spider-Man. I think I enjoyed this and Homecoming more than any of the other Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. Spider-Man Far From Home, definitely worth checking out. Number 8, a movie I don't own physically yet, although it is coming. So it was a movie that I really wanted to see because of all the buzz around it, lots of Oscar hype, lots of critical acclaim. However, it's a Korean film, which really scared me because when I'm watching a movie, if I'm reading the subtitles, I feel like I'm missing what's going on the other 95% of the screen. I'm just reading it. But when I saw Parasite, I actually got hooked up with Cody Jones on Instagram hooked me up with a free digital code. I actually had multiple people, Tim, a couple other guys, say they would have sent me a digital code because I didn't want to blind buy the movie. I did want to see it, but I was like, I don't know, a Korean movie with subtitles, is it going to hold my attention? Man, 15 minutes in, there could have been subtitles for 4 hours. I was sucked into the story. And this is a tale where this is the perfect movie. Do not read about Parasite if you haven't seen it yet. Don't watch a trailer. I did not read or watch anything about it. There was a brief 5-second scene I had seen where a guy's looking at artwork, asked if it's a chimpanzee. A girl says it's a self-portrait, and he says, amazing. That's all I saw from this movie. Parasite was great. Starts out as one thing, morphs into something else, but wow. This movie should be seen by everybody. Parasite was great. I give it a 4.5. I think it can only go up on a rewatch. I think I would have a whole new level of appreciation after my initial watch. I am getting it physically because as soon as it got done, I was like, I need to own this on physical. It's great. I have it on digital, but I need this physical. I want to see what kind of bonus features are on there. This movie was great. I cannot say enough. Go check out Parasite if you have not. Wow. Wow. Number 7, Booksmart, a movie where a lot of you guys think I'm nuts that I love it so much. I think this is probably, this is my favorite comedy of 2019. Yes, it is very similar to Superbad, but it is not Superbad retreaded. Beanie Feldstein, Caitlin Dever, fantastic friendship on screen. Written and directed by Olivia Wilde. Her husband, Jason Sudeikis, is in it. Very funny. I'm blanking on her name. Billy Lord, I believe. Billy Lord, right? Hold on. Oh, man. I hope that's her name because I'm going to be upset if I mess it up. Carrie Fisher's daughter, Billy Lord, is in this movie. She steals every scene she's in. There's a lot of just funny characters in the movie. I really love it. Saw it twice in the movies. Rewatched it at home. It is held up for me. It is a 4.5 out of 5 for me, and I really love Booksmart. Some of you guys don't like it. I love it. I thought it was great. Number 6, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I definitely need to rewatch this. Have not seen it since I saw it in the movies. 2 hour and 40-minute runtime had me a bit worried, but Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt were great in this movie. Margot Robbie. If she wasn't in this movie, it could have been, in my opinion, any blonde actress, because Sharon Tate, Margot Robbie, wasn't in the movie a ton, and when she was in the movie, she was basically like her big scene where she goes to movies to watch herself. She's not even watching herself. She's watching the actual Sharon Tate, not Margot Robbie like reprising Sharon Tate. But these two guys take the movie on a whole nother level. Basically, Leonardo DiCaprio is an old TV star, and it's about him aging out of being a superstar and people wanting him for spaghetti westerns overseas. And it shows you like the behind the scenes of making TV and movies. His stuntman, Brad Pitt, tells his tale, and it's not as, glamorous as Leo's tale. Brad Pitt's simple. He lives behind a drive-in movie theater. He has a dog, and he cares more about the dog than himself, and you can, kind of see that in the movie. And the Sharon Tate murders are a plot of the story, but in typical Tarantino fashion, maybe don't pan out exactly, like Inglourious Bastards, how that ended. A little different than actual history. The last 30 minutes of this film are phenomenal. Definitely make the movie in my opinion, great. Up until then, it was entertaining, but the last 30 minutes, it's like, this is a Tarantino movie, but it doesn't feel quite Tarantino-esque. And then the last 30 minutes happened, I said, there's Quentin. There's my boy. And of course, there's plenty of feet, because Quentin Tarantino is a weird dude. Number 5, one of my favorite performances of the year. Thought he should have gotten nominated for an Oscar. Taron Egerton as Elton John in Rocket Man. Man, this was such a great movie to watch in theaters, with the surround sound, and it's a musical, but in my opinion, much better than 2018's Bohemian Rhapsody. Taron Egerton really sings. They do some stuff with the arrangements of some of Elton John's songs, but he is always singing. It's not like Rami Malek, where he was lip syncing a lot to old Freddie Mercury tracks, or somebody was singing as Freddie Mercury that he was lip syncing to. Taron Egerton gives a heck of a performance, basically showing the up, down, and up of Elton John's life, and a powerful movie, and an R-rated biopic. I'm wondering if Bohemian Rhapsody was rated R, if Rami Malek was actually singing, how the two would compare. But I think based on his life, Elton John's life, this needed to be rated R to show you, the drug use, the drug, sex, and rock and roll, basically, that he's experienced. Freddie Mercury was, spoiler alert, also drug, sex, and rock and roll, but it was a PG-13 watered down version. This was not watered down. This was a great movie. Rocket Man, number 5. My number 4 favorite movie of 2019, Avengers Endgame. A powerful theater experience, a movie that watching it the first time is emotional for some. I didn't cry like some people did, but watching these movies for 11 years, losing some pretty key characters without spoiling it, even though I'm sure most of the world has seen this. The great Thorbowski, the humor, the action, the drama in this film make it just completely an awesome film. And we need more superhero movies like this. Although now we're going into a different phase. I'm not really excited about superhero movies coming out this year. I am excited about the Eternals, but I really could care less about a Black Widow movie, especially based on what happens in this one. But Avengers Endgame, my number 4 movie of the year. Number 3, Dave, Cinema Sickness's favorite movie of the year, Us, a movie he thought was awful, but I don't think he was watching very closely or appreciating what he was seeing on the screen. Us by Jordan Peele is an awesome film, with twists and turns and creepiness, an awesome score, just a fun movie, funny, scary, so well done. I definitely need to dive back in and revisit this. Jordan Peele, in my opinion, is 2 for 2 on phenomenal films. First Get Out, and now Us, with this sweet, sexy 4K steelbook. But what a fun, wow, so good. Us, number 3. Number 2, the best performance of the year, by a little bit. We'll talk about that in number 1. Joker. This is the best depiction of mental illness on screen ever, my opinion. But Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, it is so good. This movie was unsettling. He was not necessarily a good person, but he was trying to be a good person, and he kind of just, it showed the healthcare industry a little bit, and medicine, and how mental health shouldn't be taken lightly. And man, this elevates in a whole different movie in the second half. So stinking good. This is one of 2 movies I gave a 5 out of 5 to. It doesn't happen often, guys. I do not give them out often, but The Joker, or Joker, is a fantastic movie. Joaquin Phoenix one of the best performances of the decade as Joker, right up there, not this decade, but right up there with Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker, in my opinion. So Arthur Fleck, Joker, number 2 of 2019. Number 1, I don't physically own yet. It's not coming out till March, and it is Uncut Gems, starring Adam Sandler. Wow. A movie that I was literally sitting in the theater and I was fidgeting around. I was moving. I was so anxious. There were scenes that were, and it's a contribute. There's many factors that contribute to how I felt during the movie. The score has this, like, it's pulsating. It's calming. The voices are all yelling over each other. The way the sound mixing was done. The tension that builds up in this movie throughout the 2-hour and 15-minute runtime. Adam Sandler, it is his best performance ever. It is one of the... It was so good. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I cannot wait till it comes out on Blu-ray and digital. Lionsgate is putting it out in March. I want to say March 10th. I will be getting that movie. I cannot wait to revisit it. It is so good. If you guys have not seen Uncut Gems, I don't think it's playing in theaters anymore. But if you guys can, when it comes out digitally, when it comes out on Blu-ray, buy the movie, support the movie. It is so good. It is violent. There's sex, there is language, but it is such a good movie. Adam Sandler in probably his best role ever. Kevin Garnett, the basketball player's in the movie. He's great. Lakeith Stanfield's in the movie. He's good. The Weeknd, Idina Menzel, all give great performances. Uncut Gems, my number 1 film of 2019. And that is it, guys. The voice is starting to go a little because I've been talking for about 2.5 hours recording videos. But I got most of what I wanted to get done, recorded for you guys. I appreciate you watching, as always. Be sure to hit the like button down below. Give me a sub if you do not already. Hit the bell notification so you guys know when new videos are dropping from me. Description box down below where you can find links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, eBay, Letterboxd, Amazon wishlist. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Email address. All that can be found down below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, until next time, who's down to movie?